Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we are gonna discuss about the agrarian reforms. Agrarian reforms goes beyond the question of land rights. It is concerned with the total development of farmers' economic, social and political transformation. Keep in mind these reforms are not only related with the land or the land rights, instead these are for the overall development of the farmer. So let's talk about the agrarian reforms. These agrarian reforms can be classified into three categories: technical reforms, institutional reforms, and general reforms. Technical reforms means the reforms or the improvements in the agriculture sector due to the use of updated methods of production. Institutional reforms means the reforms related with the land revenue system. General reforms means the reforms related to the credit, finance, or the markets, or you can say price support policies such as MSP. So let's discuss about this in detail. First one is technical reforms. First technical reform is use of H5V seeds. H5V seeds are high yielding variety seeds. Since 1965, these seeds have replaced the conventional varieties of seeds. H5V seeds is specially related to the wheat, bajra, rice, maize, jowar and cotton have led to substantial rise in the agriculture productivity. So this was a great breakthrough under the Green Revolution. Next is use of chemicals and fertilizers. So it was very much necessary to increase the fertility of the land so that the crop productivity can be increased. So the fertilizers have been used to increase the fertility of the land. Next is use of insecticides and pesticides for crop protection. See, if once the crops have been produced, it becomes necessary to protect the crops from the pests or the insects. So to protect the crops from the insects and the pesticides and the insecticides have been used. Even if we talk about the particularly plant protection, so different kind of pest management programs were also adopted along with the use of H5V seeds. Next is scientific farm management practices. As you know that the agrarian reforms, these have stressed upon the scientific cultivation instead of the conventional farming. So different kind of scientific methods were used, such as selection of crops and their quality, preparation of soil, rotation of crops, selection of seeds, use of fertilizers, and all these things. So these kind of things have been considered under the scientific farm management practices. Even the government has announced that there are 23 agriculture universities which are engaged in promoting the research on scientific cultivation, as scientific cultivation imparts growth to the agriculture sector. Next comes mechanized means of cultivation. As you know that several measures have been taken to spread the use of mechanized means of cultivation. So to enable the small farmers to buy the agriculture machines, cheap credit facilities have been also provided to the farmers. So the government has taken the initiative by establishing the RRBs, regional rural banks, so that the farmers can afford different kind of mechanized means of cultivation, different kind of updated machines in the farms. Next comes institutional reforms or the land reforms. The very first is abolition of intermediaries. As you know that at the time of Britishers, different kind of land revenue systems were being followed, such as zamindari system, riotwari system, mahalwari system. So due to these kind of systems, the peasants were being exploited and the agriculture sector could not grow. So the government has removed all the intermediaries. As you can see in this diagram, that the peasants used to cultivate, zamindars were the intermediaries, and the zamindars had to pay a fixed sum of amount to the British government. So to pay the fixed sum of amount, zamindars used to put atrocities to the peasants. In this way, zamindars were exploiting the peasants, Britishers were exploiting the zamindars, and due to these intermediaries, peasants were left with no revenue or no profits for the further investment. And due to this system, agriculture sector could not grow. So under the institutional reforms, land reforms, government has decided to abolish the zamindars. Now only the persons who cultivate the land will be the exact owners of the land. Next comes the regulation of rent. As you know that if we talk about the pre-independent India, then rents were very high. Like there were some obvious reasons, as you know, and 50% of the rent, 50% of the total produce was paid as rent, and that was a huge amount. So the farmers were left with no revenues, so no further investments. So the government in the first plan has taken the initiative to regulate the high rents, and this authority was given to the state governments by the central government so that the rents can be controlled. Now this was decided that the farmers or the landlords do not need to pay more than 20 to 25%. Later on it was amended that the farmers, earlier it was like the farmers do not need to pay one third of the value of the land. Later on it was decided that they don't need to pay 20 to 25%, more than 20 to 25% than the value of the land. So this was the regulation of rent, and that the rents have been controlled so that illegal extortions from the cultivators could be controlled. Next is consolidation of land holdings. This kind of question can be asked to you in like 1 mark, such as in the form of MCQ or in the form of subjective as well. Consolidation of land holdings means bringing together the various small plots of land which are scattered. Okay, so consolidation, लैंड को इकट्ठा करना जो डिफरेंट जगह पे है. अब देखो प्रैक्टिकली ये नहीं पॉसिबल दैट वी कैन लाइक collect the land, but instead we can consolidate the land. There is a difference. Consolidate means, for example, you are having a plot of land 50 kilometers away from you. So what you can do is you can either do the contract of buying and selling with the person who is living nearby your land, which is 50 kilometers away from your home. Okay, or you can exchange the land. So this was consolidation of land. In Odisha, the Consolidation Act was passed in the year 1972. And if we talk about like when Punjab and Haryana were separated, at that time this concept, consolidation of land holding, has played a vital role. And if we talk about today, then around 1/3 of the total cultivated land has been consolidated. Okay. Next comes ceiling on land holdings. Ceiling on land holdings means fixing the maximum amount of land that an individual or the family can possess. Then what about the surplus land? That surplus land will be redistributed among the small holders or the landless laborers. This was like implemented so that the economic and social equality can be improved. Like the gap between the rich and the poor farmers can be minimized, and the standard of living of the farmers can be raised up. Next comes corporate farming. Corporate farming means when the small and marginal farmers get together, pool their funds together, that is called corporate farming. This farming is used so that the cost can be minimized and the profits can be maximized. Like छोटे जो भी छोटे farmers in the sense जिनके पास कम land है, स्मॉल एंड मार्जिनल फार्मर्स. सो वो फार्मर्स क्या करते हैं, दे पूल देयर फंड्स, कुछ कुछ पैसा इकट्ठा करते हैं और साथ में इनपुट्स परचेज करते हैं. इससे प्रॉफिट्स मैक्सिमम हो जाते हैं और जो कॉस्ट है वो मिनिमम हो जाती है, एज द एक्सपेंसेस आर बीइंग borne by all the small and marginal farmers. Next comes general reforms in the agriculture, Indian agriculture. First one is expansion of irrigation facilities. If we talk about that, we need to increase the productivity, particularly in the agriculture sector, then irrigation is one of the important thing. So the irrigation facilities have been expanded. Government has launched different kind of irrigation projects so that the farmers or the farming sector can be improved. If we talk about the data, in the year 1951, only 17% of the land was under the permanent means of irrigation. And if we talk about now, then around 45% of the land is under the permanent means of irrigation. Even government has launched a new scheme. Government is launching different kind of schemes, and one of that is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Pradhan Mantri PM Krishi Agriculture Sinchai Irrigation Yojana scheme. Okay, so this is PMKSY. This scheme is launched by the Pradhan Mantri, as it is being shown, and the nodal agency for this scheme is FCI, as the government has given the permission or the authority to the FCI to launch this scheme. If you want to know more about this scheme, then you can simply read these images and you will get the clarity. This scheme is launched for the welfare of the farmers, and the logo of this scheme is Har Khet Ko Pani, or more crop per drop. Okay, so next comes the provision of credit. As you know that to buy the inputs, to buy the machines, the farmers need the financial assistance also. So the government has established a different kind of agricultural societies and different kind of rural development banks, such as RRBs, regional rural banks, and even the government has established the Apex Institute for all the agricultural banks, that is NABARD. NABARD is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. NABARD was established in the year 1982. So this bank is the Apex Institute, or you can say father of all the agricultural banks. This bank helps in providing the different kind of credit facilities to the farmers at the national level. Next comes regulated markets and the cooperative market societies. Now to sell the crops or the production, government has established different kind of markets, such as grain markets. These are the organized markets, regulated markets, so that the farmers can sell their produce in such kind of markets and get the benefits. Even the government has launched a Kisan credit card. This is a solution for your day-to-day agricultural needs. This credit card helps in providing the credit facilities to the farmers to buy the inputs or for the petty expenses. This is an image of the organized markets, as the farmers can sell their produce in such kind of markets. What is the system of these markets? When the farmers sell their produce in these markets, government store this production in the form of buffer stock, and this buffer stock can be used when there are any kind of natural calamities in the country. So this can work as a buffer stock. Next comes price support policy. This is one of the important point, as if you people are planning to appear for any kind of competitive exam, particularly the most prestigious exam of our country, that is UPSC, then you must have the command over the basics, like all the NCERTs, particularly this economics. So MSP is one of the important topic. If we talk about the UPSC examination, then in the year 2019 prelims, the question from the MSP was being asked, and for that, your basic knowledge was necessary. So, what is this MSP? This is a scheme launched under the Government of India to safeguard the interest of the farmers. Actually, this scheme assures a minimum support price MSP to the farmers for his produce so as to protect him against the uncertainties of the market. Like the government has committed to buy the surplus produce of the farmers at the minimum support price as and when the market price is lower than that. मीन्स अगर फार्मर्स अपने जो भी उनकी प्रोडक्शन है प्रोड्यूस है उसको सेल करने के लिए मार्केट जाते हैं, मार्केट में अगर उनको कम रेट मिल रहा है एज़ कम्पेयर टू MSP, देन दे कैन सेल दैट production at the MSP, minimum support price, means that is the minimum price that will be given to the farmers against their production. So this is to safeguard the interest of the farmers. Some extra knowledge: the nodal agency for this minimum support price is FCI, Food Corporation of India. So FCI, on the behalf of FCI, the MSP scheme is implemented through the state agencies. Keep in mind, okay? Why this MSP has been launched? So that the distress sale can be prevented. If you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are watching this video for the first time. And do like and share my channel. Thank you so much.